Hey y'all, Melissa here with you today, and today is part 2 in this series about how to plan out a wardrobe that you sew and wear instead of sewing a lot of things that don't get worn often. So as a refresher, I've got the link to the first part below where we talked about the curated closet, the book that I'm using to guide me through this process as I revamp my wardrobe again. And as a reminder also, I did do this book 3 years ago, so this is something that I have had in practice for a while in my own wardrobe. Today, what we're going to be talking about is how to plan after you've looked at the wardrobe that you have, which is what we did in the first part of the series. The next part of this book, after you've gone through and you've figured out your own personal style inspiration, is to think about your actual lifestyle. And this was revelatory for me the first time that I worked through this book. Because what you do is you draw up a pie chart of what your wardrobe looks like. So on my particular pie chart, there's going to be a big slice of pie for dresses. And then you compare it to a pie chart of how you actually spend your time during a 2-week period. And you want the pieces of pie to be about the same time. So this is where I had a mismatch. There's a big pie chart piece on how I actually spend my time that has to do with running or being at the gym. And as far as the percentage of my wardrobe that covers that pie chart piece is pretty small. So there's one of the mismatches, and there's one of the places where I need to actually go in, and that's where I want to look at sewing things. The next part of the book also takes you through a closet detox and then how to shop for things. Now, I do think that the shopping suggestions in this book are pretty helpful. What she has you do is go and try on a bunch of stuff without actually buying it, like just to evaluate things for what do you like and what do you not like on your body. And I think that is a great idea if you are a person who sews, because you can get ideas of styles that you like, styles that you want to wear, and then you can go look for sewing patterns. That way you can make them in exactly the color and exactly the fit that you want. And in fact, I think that's an even better option than buying it store-bought most of the time, because you're personalizing it and customizing it for yourself. That's why I sew. If you cannot go out and go shopping and try on a bunch of stuff, you don't have the time to do that, the inclination, or you're not able to ever find anything that fits your body as it is, first of all, please remember that is not a problem with your body. That is a problem with the clothing. And again, that's why we sew, so you can sew something that fits you. But I came across another tool that is extremely useful in visualizing different types of clothing on your actual body without having to go to the store and try it on. And that is MyBodyModel. This is a tool that takes your measurements and then creates a croquis for you that is based on your exact body. So I reached out to the creators of this software, and they were kind enough to send me a sample of this to review, and I think it's fabulous. So here is my body as generated by the software, and I noticed right away that my body looks different than like those generic fashion croquis that you can get in sketchbooks, for example. They're all really elongated and tall for fashion sketching. This is shorter. This has a high waist because I have a high waist. This is a little bit pear-shaped and a little bit busty on top with a pretty narrow back. I can see all of those things on here. And what that does is then if I draw clothes, it allows me to visualize how these clothes would actually look on my body before I sew them. So if you're used to looking at line drawings, which again, often are based on ideal proportions and not your actual proportions, it can still be hard to determine how's that going to look on me. And MyBodyModel is just a great tool. So I have it here on my iPad because I like to sketch digitally. If you don't want to sketch digitally, you can definitely print it out and you can draw. Of course, I printed my digital sketch, but you get the idea here. You can actually draw on printouts and then color on top of them and make your sewing plans. What I like to do is put the screenshot, import it into a drawing program that I use, and I know you're going to ask, so what I'm using here is Adobe Sketch. I've got an iPad Pro and an Apple Pencil. This is the first generation one of both of these. And then I can just draw right on top of my body model. So I'll use the pencil tool, and for example, here is a very easy, very basic t-shirt. And I can sketch that right onto something that's on my actual body so that when I am done, I can see what it would look like on me. Let me show you a time lapse of a full sketch instead of me just doing a couple lines on my iPad. Because you can kind of try things on without actually going to the store, and because you can look at sewing pattern line drawings and then try on that style before even purchasing the pattern, I think this is a great tool for everyone to have. So I've got a link below to the MyBodyModel website where you can go and do this for yourself. Oh, another thing, a couple of things I really like about it. First of all, you can enter all your measurements and preview what your form will look like before you pay for anything. Like, they let you preview it first so you can see, does it actually look like my body? And then the other thing that I really like is that if you do the 2 credits, so that you can buy like the whole set kind of deal, you can download this planner, which has like all these different, it has both the hands on hip, front and back, and the hands to the side drawings. And then they're formatted in all different ways. Like, I printed this one because this is more how I think, like have a drawing, put some fabric samples, give myself a few details of what I want to do. But if you're somebody who thinks differently, or you just want a page of just body models to draw on, or if you want them 1 per page, like, all of those options are included in this PDF download, and you just print and or screenshot and digitally draw on the ones that you personally would use. So it's kind of however your brain works, there's probably a template in there for you to use to create your stuff. So again, link below to where to find that. And then what I did was I used my body model stuff and the stuff that I had figured out about holes in my wardrobe, and went and made some stuff. So next week we're going to talk about where to get fabrics to make the garments that are on your paper or in your head come to life. And I will see you to talk about those next week.